Hey, Nickie Brown here. No matter where you are and what part of the world you're in, I hope that you're having a good day. If you saw my previous video, you know I'm not really feeling well. So this is my look. I need to shampoo my hair. So if you'd like to judge me, you're more than welcome to. That's fine. But anyway, I'm here to talk about people who don't tolerate BS. I had an ex who said to me several times, "You don't put up with nobody's bullshit." And I said to him, "Am I supposed to?" And the first couple times he asked and I answered the question, he didn't say anything. But one of the last few times he asked, he said yes. And I said, "Why?" And he had no answer. "I'm just saying," or something like that is what he said. That's not an answer. But that's what people try to do when they're trying to manipulate you to make you think, oh, well, you're supposed to be in a relationship and you're just supposed to deal with somebody's bullshit just because you're in a relationship with that person. But not everyone is of that mindset. Some people won't deal with any bullshit. They don't care how much money the guy has. They don't care how big his penis is. They don't care how good the sex is. Same thing goes with females. They don't care how good the WAP is. They don't care, what kind of car she drives. Whatever she has going on, they don't care. It's about good character and integrity. And some people just don't have that. They're dishonest. I notice, especially here in Atlanta, but more specifically in the South, I feel like I see it more than I did in the North, although I could be wrong. Maybe it just stood out more. Maybe there's just because there's a larger population. But I notice a lot of married people cheat, male and female. It's like they get married just to check it off on their list, and then, and then that's it. They're done. They don't really want to have anything to do with the marriage. They want to cheat with the people who has a big penis or that can give them money or whatever it is that they want. I know somebody close to me said that his girlfriend tried to get him to be in a polygamous relationship because the guy makes money. And she was like, "Oh, he can help you do so and so and such with your business." And the person was like, "No, I'm not interested." And it was like, we can swap partners, like be swingers. Like you can be with his wife and I can be with him. And he was like, no, that's not what I want to do. So some people aren't willing to make that sacrifice just for some money. They have integrity. They know their worth. They value themselves more than that because the human life is priceless, right? But again, not everybody is of that mindset because there's people who, oh, that nigga got money, that B got money, I'm going to be with her just because she got money. Like I was watching a video of a young lady. I don't know what she does, but she had a boyfriend. They broke up. He moved, and she lives here in Atlanta, and they started talking. I guess because he probably saw on Instagram or some social media that she was doing well. So he asked if he could come back into her life. So if I'm not mistaken, she flew him to Atlanta. But anyway, he came to Atlanta. And I don't even know how far away he lives. I'm not even going to say it was another state. It could have just been another part of Georgia for all I know. Anyway, he comes to Atlanta to be with her. And he said, "Oh, let's get a nice car," right? And so she ends up buying a Porsche Panorama, cash, no car note. They went to the dealership. She paid cash for the car. The note, she said, was in both of their names, like the note that she paid it in cash, but she put the title in his name. So he drove to wherever he was staying before they got together and had never shown pictures of this girl before, but all of a sudden Now he has this girlfriend and she's posing in the car talking about, look what my man bought me. Think about that. So this girl is now devastated. And she goes to try to get the car. He tries to have her arrested. She did have proof, but the police officers basically said this is a civil matter. So you know how that goes. You have to go to civil court. So I don't know if she did that because she never actually said in the video. But anyway, she said she went home. She was in the closet on the floor, curled up in a ball. But a year later, she ended up being a multi-millionaire. I think she earned $7 million that next year. And bought her house, $700,000 cash. And she bought her own Porsche. No, I'm sorry. She bought herself a Rolls Royce. Paid cash for that too. So house and car paid off. And not no Honda. She big money. Rolls Royce. I don't know if it's new or used. That's beside the point. Because even if it's used, it still costs a lot of money. So don't, please, miss me with that foolishness that y'all come up with sometimes, trying to hate on people. It doesn't matter. It is of no consequence. Anyway, I really felt bad for her, but at the same time, that was her testimony. She had to go through a test in order to get a testimony, and she slid back a little bit, but her comeback was like amazing. Not that it's all about money, but she was in a sunken place. She said she had healed herself tremendously spiritually, and he really broke her, or at least tried to break her. And so obviously she healed herself again, and she got back on top, right? And so a lot of times that's what happens. People will try to break you or bring you down to their level. That's the way of trying to humble you. Like, how dare you be better? How dare you move out of the hood? How dare you get an education? How dare you have money? How dare you have a nice car? What they're not saying is, without me, right? Because they want to use and abuse you, but they don't really necessarily want to be with you, but they want to benefit off of what you built. Right? They weren't willing to build it with you because they didn't have that ambition. They didn't have that drive. They didn't have that mindset. They felt like it was BS. Oh, just get a job is what a lot of people's mindset is, right? They're not interested in building anything. And if they are interested in building something, not with you. I watched another video, a young lady, and I feel like she might have gotten back with him. Anyway, they were together for 4 years, and he tried to sleep with her best friend. So the best friend called the show, I don't know, it's an Instagram show. I can't remember the name of it right now. Anyway, called this Instagram show to call him out. And the best friend was like, I didn't try to hit on him. I didn't sleep with him. I wouldn't do that to you. But she didn't believe her, because he said that she did, because he was rejected by her. And he didn't want her to be friends with her anymore, because then he would have to see her, knowing that he couldn't fuck her, basically. And so she set him up like, oh yeah, so you don't want to deal with me anymore, blah, blah, blah. She, really turned on the fake seduction, because it was really just to get him to confess that he tried it, and she turned him down. So then, which almost always happens. So the best friend was crying at first. She said, I'm sorry. But then she said, why would you do this? Why would you set me up? Why would you embarrass me? Why would you have me on TV? Why would you have me on social media? And then she started crying to him, and, like kind of threatening the cameraman or whatever. So they kind of turned the cameras off. But I really feel like she went with him. She went back with him. And they were together for 4 years. But, he's not, no. Then, for those of you who watch Sistas, and you're all caught up on the episodes. If not, this is what is it called? a something alert, like where you tell what's going on. I forgot. Anyway, the character Andy, who's an attorney, was in a relationship for a few years. And he was very possessive and jealous. And usually when someone is jealous and possessive, it's because they're cheating. That's usually a telltale sign, because they're afraid that what they're doing, you're also doing. So they become very insecure and very jealous because of what they're doing, right? That is typically how that behavior goes. Some men don't care. Some people hope you're cheating because sometimes they don't want to be bothered, and they hope that you catch them, because then you'll break up with them and they don't have to feel the guilt or shame of breaking up with you. That happens, right? But anyway, Andy Barnes, she lives in a condo in this building. He upgraded her to the penthouse apartment and bought her, what? A Rolls Royce, right? So at first she didn't want to take it because she felt like that was his way of controlling her. A few episodes later, she finds out that he's renting an office space in a building across from her building, and he has a telescope watching her because she started seeing another guy, and she had the guy in her apartment. So he was watching them have sex. These shows, entertainment is always based on reality. So movies, TV shows, they're always based on reality. So they don't think this is very far-fetched just because it's on TV. Yes, there's sometimes exaggeration, but usually it's based on real life. Anyway, let's move on. That was last season, and she kept the car, she kept the penthouse apartment, because he took all he had. All of her furniture moved out, put in storage. She ends up taking it, and he threatened to take her to court. So she started sleeping with him because she didn't want that to happen. But at the same time, she has feelings for him because they have been dating for years. Fast forward to this season. Come to find out, he has another woman. He bought her an apartment, bought her a car, but she said not a luxury car because nobody does that, right? That was her thing. Like, she's just modest and humble. And she was pregnant. So now Andy's very devastated. And he said, oh, she's just a side piece. I didn't really love her. I didn't really want her. Mind you, he proposed to her. She said no. So the same ring he used to propose to her, he gave to this woman that's pregnant. I know somebody who did that in real life. And I was devastated. Like, why would you not take the ring back and get another one? That's just tacky to me. But obviously some men don't see it that way. They feel like they spent their money, so they want somebody to have it. And they got... And a lot of times they have somebody else on the side who they can give it to. Because at that time, they're just ready to get married. And that's what they do. And anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. So, yeah, sometimes people can be very deceptive. And if you know your worth, and if you're not willing to put up with BS, don't. Usually within the first few conversations, you can figure out who a person is. If you can't, now everybody came down on Steve Harvey for saying this. But he said, make the man wait 90 days, right? Steve only said what our grandmothers and great-grandmothers said to us, right? Make the man wait. They may not have said a specific time frame, but they definitely said, don't rush into having sex with a man. They definitely said that. I don't know, maybe your grandparents didn't say that, but mine did. Right? Even if they didn't follow that philosophy, even if you saw them doing something different, they made the mistake and they tried to teach us how not to make the same mistake. They may have even used the Bible, right? And may have said, wait till marriage. right? But they definitely said wait. Right? You have some that say wait, make him love you first, or love him more than you love him. Because it takes for a man to care and love you for him to really stay and not want to cheat on you. If he gets with you because it's just inconvenient, he's at a low place in his life and he needs a place to stay, he doesn't really love you. He may love you, but he's not in love with you. How about that? He just needed a place to stay, baby. And I'm sorry if that's hurtful, but you can see it, I'm sure. In these loveless relationships where y'all don't even talk. Right now, I know when some people have been together for a long time, they don't talk, but usually people who like each other and they're happily married, they still talk. There's lots of old couples, you see them walking down the street holding hands, still going to lunch, still going to dinner. So everybody's relationship is not miserable. It's just that the people who are in good relationships usually don't talk about it because they're somewhere being happy. So the people who try to manipulate you to say, oh, well, you can't have a healthy relationship. You can't have a healthy relationship, a happy relationship. There's no such thing. That's bullshit. They're trying to manipulate you. Or they're trying to excuse and justify their unhappy home. There are a lot of couples who still like each other. And there are a lot that don't. And again, the ones that are still in good, solid relationships, they usually don't talk about it. But there are some men who still adore their wives and will never even think of cheating on her. Some men who have never cheated. They have no reason to lie. Because there are some men who just did not do that because they didn't want to. Because she was enough. He was healthy enough to accept this relationship. And that's part of the thing. Some people are not healthy. And so they're constantly looking for validation from another person, thinking that this other person is going to make them happy, when they don't realize that happiness comes from within. They have to be a whole and complete person within themselves. They have to like themselves, love themselves, know their own worth. Because people who know their worth don't just put their body out there all willy-nilly, whether it's male or female. Because there are spiritual demons that can attach to you. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on YouTube. If I'm not, I don't know. Hopefully it's safe. Hopefully it's good. But you can't wash those off. You can't wash off the negative energy that people come with. It's incubus and succubus energy. It doesn't wash off. Whether it's internal or external. So, when you know your worth, you just don't accept things like that. And if you decide you want to sleep with somebody, by all means, do whatever you want to do. But you just have to know and understand that there could be consequences. And so if you don't want, that person's personality attached to you, then you probably shouldn't sleep with them. Because if you don't like them enough to be in a relationship with them or be in a marriage with them, you shouldn't like them enough to enter your body or go inside their body. I'm just saying, that's how that works. And some people want it to work where you do whatever they want you to. You do whatever they want you to do. And like I was saying earlier, especially here in Atlanta, there's a lot of people who are already in relationships. They live with somebody. They got cars, they got houses, they got property. They have all kinds of stuff going on. But they don't like the person that they're with and then sometimes people just grow apart. But because they have so much invested with each other, they don't want to leave. And they'll pretend that everything is okay at home when it's really not. Because you let that person come around or come into the room, they go hurry up and get off the phone. If they even talk on the phone while they're in the house at all. So just be mindful. Just be mindful. That's all. I'm just giving you some advice. As always, I love you. Don't forget to like, comment.